Hey guys, so I recently was asked again, and it really made me think about it. I had my first set of locks for more than 6 years, and I cut them over and restarted. And I feel like I've mentioned it in previous videos, but I kind of feel like I beat around the bush. Lately, I've had a lot of time to sit back and think about why did I restart my locks? Why did I cut them in the first place? And I can take you all the way back to July 17th. I was at work the night before. This is last year, of course. The night before I cut my locks. And it just was on me heavy. It's time to let them go. It's time to cut them. It's time to just take them out. Don't pull them off because you're going to have so much breakage, so much damage. Just cut them off. Start over and go for it. I watched videos on YouTube of big chops, all the different things that everybody was saying. And I was like, yeah, that's me. I'm ready to do this. One of the biggest things that was stressing me out was having to do my hair. Now, I had gotten pretty good where I was able to cut down doing my hair from 3 hours to like an hour. I could twist it and be done. And that's wash and dry and everything. I had just gotten so used to it. But I was having bad migraine headaches, which I attributed to the weight of my hair. It just seemed to be so inconvenient to do my hair, you know. And everybody was having this short natural thing. It was like, when I had locks, my locks weren't considered natural. They were considered a style, which is still something I don't understand. It's natural hair. It's not chemically processed or any of that stuff. But people do not consider locks to be natural hair. So I was like, well, let me just see how this goes. I'm going to fall back into the natural fad and cut them off. So the next morning, I told my mom, I said, hey, help me out. I want to cut my locks off. I feel like I'm ready. And she did it. She didn't question me once. And I felt so many different emotions when the first lock got cut. I actually let my baby girl cut my first lock on the front of my head so I couldn't turn back. But I felt so many different emotions. I was excited. I was depressed. I was just sick to my stomach because I didn't know what was going to happen next. How do you embrace such a significant change like that when you've been attached to something for more than 6 years and it's gone in less than 10 minutes? So I feel like that was one of the biggest things that slapped me the first time. But went to sleep. I had to go back to work that night. Went to sleep. Got up that evening. And I loved it. I thought I loved it. So I did it for, 7 months? I guess from July to March. So about 7, 8 months. And in that time, I found so many different issues with maintaining moisture, dealing with breakage and damage, learning how to wash my hair, washing goes. I could never figure them out. Styling my hair. I'm not a big accessory person. I just did not know what to do. My hands were always in my hair. My hands are always in my hair now. But especially that length. My hands were always in my hair and I knew I needed to just leave it alone. I tried to color it. I didn't like the color after I did it because when it faded, it just made my hair look dirty. I have 4C hair, so my hair is naturally thick, curly, kinky. And there's very little you can do with it when it's short, or that I found. Plus, I had become so attached to my locks, I could do anything I wanted with my locks. But to go from hair that's midway my back to hair that's maybe 1 inch, 2 inches long, it was a real shock to the system. So, though I alleviated all those headaches instantly from the weight, I also had to deal with that counter pressure, where when your locks are heavy, it's naturally pulling your head back, and you learn to hold your head up with that weight in the back. Well, when I cut my locks off, my first reaction when I felt water in my face was to throw my hair back. And my neck felt so loose, and I didn't know how to adjust. And it felt weird for like a few days because that weight on the back of my hair was no longer there. So I handled the weight issue, my hair being heavy. I handled the headache issue. But as soon as I cut them, I missed them. I tried to embrace it for months, and it just didn't work out. So finally, I had done some finger coils once or twice a few months prior. And I said, nah, I can just do this on and off, on and off. And the morning of March 9th, I had went and I worked out, and I said, okay, well, I'm going to wash my hair real quick. Well, I want to do something to my hair, but I wasn't sure what. So I did my finger coils, and I twisted my hair back up, and I instantly fell in love with the way it looked. I love the way that it shaped my face. I love the way that it made me it seemed like it gave me so much more confidence so fast, because the locks were who I was, you know, or they had become part of me. And I felt like I had tried to conform to something that I wasn't, and I lost myself. And I think a lot of times people do that with different styles and fads. People are trying to do what's in the media. They try to do what they see on Pinterest, what they see on YouTube. You have to be yourself. You have to embrace yourself, because if you don't and you conform to all these other things in the world, all these other styles and hairstyles and cultures, then you might lose yourself in that. Some people it works out for, but I lost myself. I really did. So when I twisted my hair that morning with just finger coils, I instantly felt like I was starting to regain my identity, going back to finding myself again. And I made a decision right then when I finished that I was going to just start them back. And I have to say, I've never regretted that decision. The first set of locks to me was a very symbolic of a lot of growth that I went through. I started them before I got to nursing school. That's what I've always wanted. And they were resting past my shoulders by the time I graduated nursing school. I've been working as a nurse now for going on about 4 years. A little over 4 years, 4.5 years. I've been working at my job about 5, so a little about 4.5 years. And just to see all that growth and change in my hair and how I looked on my badge compared to how I looked when I was working, it's just amazing. And it's very significant to me to see all that. But the fact that I was able to cut them off and embrace that change and then start over and watch myself grow again, I'm definitely going to make these mean something just as well. When you are growing out your locks, you're growing an extension of yourself. So it really doesn't matter what anybody else has to say. This is a representation of you. It's symbolic of things that are important to you. And what you'll notice with your locks is every lock is going to be different. They might be thin some areas, they might be thick some areas. You might be lucky and have them almost all the same size. But most of mine looked uniform that first time, but I had some two-headed dragons, some that I had married a long time ago. Never had any break off, which I'm very thankful for. But if that should happen to me in the future, if I should have a lock to break, then that is something in my life that I did not need, that is being broken off, that God has taken away so that I can continue to grow in other areas. So that is why I decided to start the second lock journey, because I feel like there's so much in me that I want to do. I want to grow mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. I'm trying to get healthy. I'm trying to change my way of thinking. Life can get you down and have you so negative sometimes. I'm trying to be a more positive person. And I feel like my locks represent that in me. They represent who Aqua is. And I hope that I bring a positive connotation when people think of locks. I hope they think of positivity when they see my locks. So, again, like I said, I didn't want this to be a redundant video, but I definitely did want to hit on the real reason why I cut my locks and why I decided to restart them. So I hope that helps some of you out there that are getting started on your lock journey. Those that are already following me and subscribed to me, thank you for tuning in. Please leave some comments below. Please share my video so that maybe the things that I've shared today can help somebody else. Catch you next time.